blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill them.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Three Houses. Bit of an unexpected I was going through. I was doing getting into the final mission, and it's like, I was doing a lecture, and it's like, Dimitri, I'd like to talk to you, and I thought it was just the after lecture thing, but apparently, nope, we're doing this, so I guess we're doing this now. Sure, we can have dinner.
Fantastic. But please think about what you'd like to eat. After all, such magnificent guidance must work up quite an appetite. I've studied swordsmanship for some time, but your mercenary skills are something else entirely.
I mean, yeah, that's, again, you can only get so far if all of your experience comes from books and practice and no live battle experience.
Speaking of which, there's another question I must ask you. Were you reconciled with the reality of battle from your first foray? With the killing part, I mean?
I don't think anyone is actually ready to take life until they've done it. And no, it's never easy.
I see. No. I do not carry that burden well. I doubt that will change, no matter how many years come and go. The first time I led on the battlefield, I was sent to quell a rebellion in the West.
Is this the thing that Felix was talking about, why he and Dimitri had a falling out?
It was not a difficult fight. The enemy was not well trained, and their morale was low. A swing of the lance, and your opponent falls. A flash of your blade, and a path opens up. That's the sort of battle it was.
Why are you swinging a lance? Shouldn't you be stabbing with a lance? No, I guess it was Dimitri's first time in battle, so maybe he didn't know that yet.
The noble family from that area sought to seize the throne after my father's untimely death.
That's always got to be rough, and I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, because the people that are on the battlefield have nothing to do with that. But at the same time, they have to be stopped, so I can definitely understand his trepidation.
The leader of the rebel army was defeated, and the rebellion quelled. This was at the height of the post-war period. I recall coming across a dead soldier's body. He was clutching a locket. Inside was a lock of golden hair. I don't know to whom it belonged. His wife? His daughter? Mother? Lover? I'll never know.
I mean, I'm assuming at least not mother. You don't usually go around with your mom's hair.
He was a soldier, an enemy, someone we had cut down without hesitation. But in that moment, I realized he was also a real person, just like the rest of us.
I do certainly understand how that can happen, where you're just like, you don't humanize your opponents to a certain degree because you're taught not to.
Of course, we cannot stand idly by and allow anyone to commit senseless acts of violence. Yet, in dispensing what we call justice, we take the lives of cherished family members, beloved friends.
This would be a heavy burden for anyone to have to deal with, especially if someone that's in command but not the king. Like, Dimitri didn't send that army there, but he was responsible for making the army be an army and put down the enemy.
Killing is part of the job, but even so, there are times when I'm chilled to the bone by the depravity of my own actions.
I mean, depravity is an awfully strong word, sir. Yeah, I felt the same way, I want to say.
That you feel the same way is more comforting than you could know.
I figured that's what he needed to hear.
Professor, may I speak freely?
I abhor you. You frightened me.
When we first met, I thought of you as someone who felt no strong feelings about killing your enemies. I could never trust someone who kills without batting an eye. My heart won't allow it. But after speaking with you and getting to know you better, I can see you're not like that. Now I know, with all my heart, that I can trust you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. It totally wasn't an answer that I gave based on what I knew about you and what would be best for your mental health, wealth, and well-being. Did I say hell-being? I think I said hell-being. Phoebus. Okay, you know what? Sure. Let's get let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Yeah, what are you doing, Sylvain?
Oh, Professor. I didn't realize you were there.
How does a woman get within 70 paces of you and you don't know she's there?
If we keep running into each other like this, people will start to talk. Hey, don't get mad. I was joking. Ah, forget it. What do you need?
Another lover's quarrel? Are you breaking more hearts out here, Sylvain?
Well, you're not wrong. I fell for that girl recently, but I just wanted to have some fun and leave it at that. So, I told her we should break it off. I guess she was feeling a little more serious than I was. She started crying, and everything got a bit complicated.
It's interesting that you fell for her, you said, but... So, obviously you were more serious than you were. Why you gotta be so complicated?
Come on, Professor. Playing around with girls is the most fun a guy can have.
For a time, but eventually you outgrow that, and I would have expected you to do so, but actually I'm not even sure that's true. I don't... You know, realistically, it's only been a few months.
Besides, I don't care what you think of me. I don't intend to change how I live my life. I'm a good-for-nothing, if you haven't noticed. But I'm still a noble with a crest. That's all anyone cares about. It's best to avoid getting too serious with fools like that. It only leads to trouble.
This very much sounds like Sylvain's mantra to himself on why he doesn't have to try. Like, nobody else is actually saying this to him.
I'm gonna be forced into an arranged marriage with some random noble woman anyway. By the way, Professor, you didn't know you had a crest, did you?
I did not. I certainly didn't know it was Nemesis's.
I see. I suppose a mercenary wouldn't be concerned with such things. Most children who are born to noble families are tested upon birth to see if they bear one.
Makes sense.
Even descendants of the 10 elites, like myself, can't be legitimate heirs without a crest. That means as children, we're only accepted if we're born with one.
Okay, interesting.
The heads of most noble houses keep having kids until they get one with a crest. Those children then grow up to be heads of their houses, and the vicious cycle continues. Yeah,
it's very much a everyone's always born a crest, and so you convince yourself of the superiority of crests, even though they don't really matter. They just let you use the hero's relics, and it is an interesting dichotomy because it's like you do need a noble heir that bears the crest in order to lead the army in times of war, because the sheer amount of power you get from those in battle is, you know, can't be ignored. But they've made a false equivalence between the crest gives you the right to govern and is a mark of your ability. I'm like, the crest has nothing to do with that.
Do you get it now? To all these commoner girls, I'm just a trophy. Or rather, a stud horse.
Yeah, you don't know what they're thinking, man.
Perhaps, but that doesn't change the fact that these girls don't love me. They only love the potential rewards of loving me.
Again, you don't know that. You're speaking of what's going on in their head. I bet you even asked them about it.
If I marry a girl, and she gives birth to a child with a crest, that kid might become the next head of House Gautier. But nowadays, with the bloodlines getting weaker, there are a lot of kids like my brother, born with no hope.
I wonder what's causing the bloodlines to get weaker. Is it lack of inbreeding?
For ages now, those of us with crests have been envied and desired, but never for who we are. I understand the value of my blood. Believe me, I hate how much I understand it. I know better than to dream of being free from this burden. I'm used to it by now. I used to think I didn't have the right to live freely.
Oh, that's rough.
That's right. You know what? I'm a bit jealous. The whole time you were growing up, you never knew you had a crest. You were free. Nobody pretended to like you. I kind of hate you for that. You were a spoiled brat who should pay for that crest. Maybe I'll collect the debt.
Sylvain, if you honestly think running around on a battlefield my entire life is being a spoiled brat, you can come and collect, and I will clean the blood off of the floor.
Gotcha! Wow, You should have seen the look on your face just then. Don't mind me, Professor. After all, ladies love a dark and brooding noble.
You have no idea how close you came. Like, that's nothing was loving about Larshi's response, I can guarantee it. Alright. I am almost out of tea.
Do you need me for something, Professor? Thanks. It's not cooling down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What? Whoa!
Of course I'm looking good. I have a lot of chores to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I was not sure which of those he'd actually go for.
What? Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm
I
totally...
like working. Feels real good to be needed. Whoa!
I don't praise him. He'll think praise is like floofy air. Boom.
Only thing I still got from Elmira is this bit of cloth. It's real tough. Do
Okay.
you find Almirans interesting? I don't think we're so different from anyone else. Ouch!
Ouch. No, I'm not giving you any
Well,
presents.
I still got some work to get done. Thanks for the tea. See ya, Professor.
We did some great work.
Excellent. Ooh, Ash got a double level up. I need to move Ash to start looking at flying, because he'll need that eventually.
I've deepened my understanding.
Well, that worked out. So this is how it's done.
I understand more every day.
This'll help keep me alive.
Impressed yet?
Alright, awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright, and let's go ahead and knock out the rest of these, because we've got quite a bit, and we've already kind of started the episode with doing this, so let's continue. And look at everyone who wants to talk to me.
You there, youngster. Won't you listen to this old man's troubles?
If I have
I was
to.
born and raised right here in this town. I spent my whole life here. My daughter lives in the Empire, and she sent me a letter to ask if I was keeping up with my daily worship.
You're a monk, of course you are.
Well, hello there, Professor. Is this a friend of yours?
I have no idea who he is.
Is that so? I was sure you two knew each other.
But that's why you
Is
shouldn't
there
make
something we can do
assumations.
for you, good sir?
Oh, what a lovely young lady. I was just telling this kind soul a story. Well,
Oops.
I was thinking of going to daily prayer, but my leg's been acting up and I can't walk properly.
How terrible. That's no good at all. May I be of assistance?
Yeah, Larshi doesn't actually have any healing magic, so you probably shouldn't be bothering her.
I'd be happy to lend a shoulder and escort you to the chapel.
Would you? Oh, I'd be most grateful.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Thank the goddess for sending this young
What do you mean
lady
lend a
to me
shoulder?
today.
You're a healer. Fix his leg.
We'll need your help too, Professor. Here, sir, take my arm.
He just wants to touch two young girls.
Splendid work, Professor. He really seemed to appreciate our assistance. I don't don't think I did anything particularly deserving of praise. I'm just happy that I could help. You did a great job cheering him up on your own.
I sure did.
Putting a smile on someone's face always seems to brighten up the day. Is something wrong? You're giving me a strange look.
I am?
Oh, how should I put this?
I'm psychic.
I suppose it's just second nature to me. It's difficult to describe, but I can usually tell when someone is worried about something. Back there, I could tell that both you and the old man were in distress.
I wasn't really in distress at all.
I spent a good amount of my
You're
life
wrong.
living in the church. Maybe that's why I'm so good at identifying these things?
Her hair is so just, oh my god. Like, how does she have so much of it?
Did I not mention that before?
I feel like you did. I knew about it already. Or maybe I just assumed because you're literally, like, the church is all you have.
I spent nearly 10 years of my life in the Church of Fargus. Many came to us with their troubles. In my own time of need, I once ran to the church myself, and they helped me.
Of course they did. You're worth it.
May I share something with you, Professor? It's about a dream of mine. I'd like to work in the church one day. I want to be like the priest who helped me. Never mind. It's not a very
Why
realistic
is it
dream.
not realistic? You seem to have all the qualifications of working in the church.
If I were someone else, perhaps a commoner without a crest or stature, maybe things would be different. It's a bit sad, but this is the way things have to be. After all, only the goddess can decide our fates.
That is not true at all. Silly Mercedes can't even take charge of her own life. It is sad, but I definitely feel like she's giving up way too quickly.
Ugh. Will Father never learn? All of these useless letters are only creating more rubbish in the world.
Is he trying to marry you off with someone else?
Professor? Oh, I didn't see you standing there. My apologies.
So you were littering in the hallway because you thought no one would catch you?
Oh, that paper. Well, Yes, it was. It was a letter from my father. I understand where you're coming from here, but I have no need of such things.
Yeah, it's just another marriage proposal, because that's what it seems like to me.
It isn't like anything of importance was written on it. Curious? I suppose there's no harm in allowing you to read it. Go on, then.
My dearest daughter, Ingrid.
Ooh, voice acted.
Are you well? I trust that you are behaving yourself and refraining from causing trouble for others. Things on the home front are in order. The marriage proposal for you and the Viscount's son should be prepared soon.
Viscount? Which Viscount?
Although, I am quite certain there are many superior candidates at Garreg Monastery. As you know, the very survival of our family is dependent upon whom you marry.
Oh, god damn it.
You are the only one left in the family who can make things right. We are all counting on you. Do not lose sight of what truly matters.
Yeah, that's a rough position to be in.
Yes. Perhaps you found it somewhat entertaining.
I mean, not really. It sounds like that's all you ever get from him.
I've told you that we've never been very well off financially. My noble family, House Galatea, branched off from House Daphne in the Alliance. Shortly after, we were lucky enough to receive the support of the royal family, allowing us to attain nobility, to some extent. But the territory we watch over is poor, its harvest meager, and our noble blood too has grown thin. Neither my father nor my brothers bear a crest.
I feel like that's the problem that's going on, is they keep, like, effectively whoring their crests out in order to gain financial advantage, and then they're like, why is the noble blood getting so thin? Well, because you keep spreading it out.
I, however, do bear a crest. Because of this, my father sees me as our family's one hope for the future. A crest is highly prized among nobles. Were I to marry into a greater noble family, that financial support could soothe our woes.
I mean, I
Thank you,
do get it.
Professor. Your sentiment alone is a great comfort to me. Despite my own feelings, I understand his approach to all this. It isn't that he doesn't care for me. I understand it very, very well, which is why
You put up with it, yeah.
I apologize, Professor. I must be going.
Alright, so that's it for Lorshi. We got a lot to do, though, guys. Oh. Sylvain and Dimitri get to finish themselves off. You know what? Let's get over Mercedes, because oh my god, she just annoys me to death. Oh my... Mercedes, why do you have so many? Oh my god.
Mercedes, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but will you lend me a hand?
What can I do for you? Oh, is the cuff of your overcoat still torn? Mending that shouldn't be a problem at all.
So Mercedes' whole character is that she, like, is a girl, believes in God, and does girl things.
It's pathetic, I know, but I fear my sewing skills are... well, as you can see, they're just about non-existent.
Goodness, you must have been concerned when I tore your cuff.
Ah, well... that is to say... Would you please teach me to sew? I hear you're rather amazing at it.
Of course I'll teach you. Don't look so heartbroken.
You will? Thank you. Oh, I owe you for this.
I'll go get my sewing kit. You wait here. I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I've never seen, well, it's just a bit...
What?
No need to dance around the issue. You're fed up with my clumsy efforts, aren't you?
I thought you might end up bending some needles if you tried mending this on your own, but... how did you manage to break a pair of scissors?
Wow, are we very sure Dimitri isn't actually Anne in disguise?
I'm so sorry, really. I try to be careful, but with delicate work like this, I just can't seem to manage.
This must be why Dimitri calls you a bore.
There's no need to apologize. But you must have been uncomfortable making your way here with this tear.
My inability to control my own strength is humiliating. Of course I'm useless at needlework.
No giving up on yourself. You just have to practice, that's all. No matter how difficult something is, if you keep at it and don't give up, then you're sure to improve. Isn't that what you told me?
Right you are. To give in to despair isn't like me. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, I'm ready to give it another go.
Great! I'm glad to hear it. First things first, let's make sure the needle is actually threaded this time.
No! I bent another one.
It's okay. You know what? This scene actually was enjoyable. As much as I'm not a big fan of Mercedes, that one was okay.
Ah, I think I get it. So the Sky God got into an argument with the Earth God, then Dusker was created?
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
To oversimplify it somewhat, yes.
I was going to say, there's got to be more to the story than that.
There's something so mysterious about it. There are only mountains separating us from Dusker, but it's like a completely different world.
Well, yeah, it's barren, and, like, put to the sword.
This has been so interesting. I've never learned so much about it before.
There are not many left to pass on the legends of Dusker.
Really? That's a shame. It's almost like when someone dies, or a family line ends.
I mean, that is unfortunately a good way of putting it.
I think a place is only truly destroyed when there's no one left to remember it. You should tell more people about Dusker to keep it alive.
That is a strange thing to say.
Oh? Why do you think that?
Dusker is forever the enemy of Fargus.
Not forever. There's no reason to think it will go forever.
No one cares about our culture or history.
That's also not true.
I'm different, though. I don't know anyone who was killed by the people of Dusker.
That's because the people of Dusker didn't kill anyone.
I don't hold a grudge against you, and I never have.
Hmm.
To do? Is this recipe from Dusker?
You don't care for it.
Why would you assume that?
No. I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Would you teach me how to make it soon?
But it seems I am ever the teacher with you, and seldom the student.
You're right. I'm so sorry. I have an idea.
What's your idea?
My mother taught me to bake the perfect sweets to go with tea. Would you like to learn how to bake them? It's a secret Martritz family recipe that's been passed down for generations.
House Martritz of the Empire. I thought they were no more.
It's true. My father's family was wiped out in the Empire. I'm the last living descendant.
Hey, you have something in common with to do then.
Are you certain you wish to impart such precious memories to me?
I mean, they're just going to die if she doesn't impart them to someone.
Of course. Now that my family's gone, I'm the only one who knows the secret. The sweets would vanish from Fodlan if something happened to me.
I see your point. Yes, I would like to learn.
That's nice. So many. I'm just in shock.
Whoa, what happened? The pan's smoking!
Mercedes, what's going on?
Mercedes doesn't know how to cook.
My eyes. I can barely breathe.
Oh, Ash, I'm so glad you're here. My cooking's not going very well at all.
What did you put in there?
Food?
I used some of this spice, that seasoning, and the herbs on the top shelf. Then I started frying it in oil.
And she's just running around having all the chefs teach her things and then not learning from them.
That explains it. We use that herb for smoke bombs. Just turn the heat off and cover the pan.
Oh no. The people in the dining hall don't look so good.
Well, it's just smoke bombs. It's not like it's, you know, sleeping powder.
Sorry, everybody. Could we clear out the dining hall for a few minutes, please? Well, some folks were a little annoyed, but at least we got the place cleared out.
Yeah, I'm surprised Raphael left.
It's a good thing no one mistook all that smoke for an attack. That could have been a disaster.
I'm so sorry. I always mess everything up.
You certainly do. I mean, wait, I'm supposed to, like, not be mean.
No, it's my fault. I should
No,
have
it's not.
taught you which herbs to avoid. Don't blame yourself.
I just need to figure out how to do it right for next time.
There's going to be a next time?
Next time?
That's my sentiment exactly.
You still want to try again, even after all that?
Of course! If I didn't, that would just be a waste of everything you taught me.
I guess that's true.
If you quit every time you made a mistake, then you'd never learn anything, right?
That is very true. The worst way to the most successful people are the ones who simply kept trying. Very, very few people just gets lightning that crashes the first time.
That's a great point.
I'm not a huge fan of the series, but they say the person that did Five Nights at Freddy's did like that was his 40th game or something.
Maybe my mistake was frying the herb in oil. If I had boiled it instead, then there wouldn't be smoke.
No, your mistake is using an herb that's using smoke bombs instead of the herb that's in the recipe.
What do you think, Ash?
Boiling, huh? Yeah, that'd be fine.
No, don't encourage her.
Great! I'm gonna get this right next time for sure.
Nope. And so I'm terrified to see what this is going to end up with.
Mercedes, I swear, the whole cathedral glows with heavenly light when you're around.
Shut up, Sylvain. She's brain damaged. She actually isn't. I should stop being so mean to Mercedes.
Hello, Sylvain. What a treat to see you here. I thought you preferred places with more ladies around.
Psst, you're a lady. But Mercy looks like a lady.
I'm here because you're here. And I don't care about other girls.
Oh, shut the heck up.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you use that line all the time.
Actually, I've only said it to girls who thought I was lying about being faith. You know what? There's no reason to get into all that. The truth is, I would really like to spend some time with you. What do you say to that?
Well, if you were really interested in me, I would want you to get to know me better.
I feel like you're falling in for his trap.
I agree. I've been such an idiot in the past, always angling for the seduction. I've forgotten how to just talk to someone.
You act like you're full of regret, but I know you don't really mean it.
Oh, hey, she's not as dumb as I thought she was.
Still, I'm glad to hear you say that at least. I told you such a boring story the last time we spoke. I was worried you might think I was a dull person.
Dull? No. I was worried that I'd made you remember unhappy times.
I mean, both of those could be true.
It's horrible what you had to go through. It's not like anyone chooses to be born with a crest.
Right. We can't choose our bloodline.
Unfortunately. There's actually a really interesting, I had a friend that was, so this is a bit of an old story, but I have a friend, and I've got to say, her dad is one of the, like, wisest people I've ever known. But at one point when she was younger, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, she made kind of a vain comment because she actually does look really, really good. And he kind of, you know, and he built her up about that. Like, he'd let her know how good she looked and let her know that, you know, people would try and take advantage of that and she'd have to, like, fend off. But at one point she said something about, you know, how she, you know, it's like, well, yeah, but I look amazing. And he turned to her and he's like, that's not something to be proud of. You want to be proud of your grades? Great. You want to be proud of your athletic ability? Fantastic. You want to be proud of something you did in sports? Go for it. Artistry, whatever. But your physical appearance, you didn't do anything for that. That's not, you know, maybe if you want to be proud that your makeup brings out the highlights, okay, I can deal with that. But just being proud that you're beautiful, that has nothing to do with you. That's not something that makes sense to be vain about. And this is kind of the same thing, where your bloodline is something that isn't anything, like, you can't be proud that you have a crest. That's just random luck.
You've got a crest too, haven't you, Sylvain? What has your experience been like?
Are you asking how being born with a crest affected me?
Yes. I know there was that business with your brother Miklon, but I'm sure you don't want to talk about all that.
Yeah, probably not.
It's not a very happy story.
Please don't feel the need to hold back on my account. I'm here if you need someone to share in your pain.
Would you want to know more about me, even if I didn't have a crest, or come from a noble family?
This has nothing to do with your crest or family. I'm just asking as your friend.
It is interesting that Sylvain is so on guard about, you know, women trying to get close to him.
How should I put this? When I look at you, I don't see a crest. I want to see the real you.
You do?
Okay, this is actually a much better scene with Sylvain than I thought we were going to get.
Here's the short version. I hate crests. Even though having one is supposed to be such a great blessing, mine has ruined everything. Miklon was heir to our house. Then I was born, and I became the heir because I had a crest. That made my older brother jealous enough to want to kill me. And every woman in Fodlan wants to have my little crest baby, so they can join the nobility. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's like to have a crest.
Well, everyone wants to sleep with me, too.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to dredge up such awful things.
No, I should keep my temper better. I don't want you to see me act that way.
Don't say that. I'm glad we were able to talk. I feel like I'm finally seeing the real you.
Yeah, this is what I've said about this game over and over and over again. You end up in such a situation, in such a scenario, where the shallow characters deepen to such interesting individuals.
Oh, Sylvain, will you save me from the curse of having a crest?
Okay, that's overly dramatic.
Of course. I think I love you. And I mean that. With all my heart. I love you, Mercedes. Let's get married and have crest babies.
Okay, this better not be serious.
Sure.
Alright, and then Ignatz, surprisingly enough.
Oh, Ignatz. What are you sighing over?
Sorry, I shouldn't sigh in such a holy place.
There's nothing wrong with it. I sigh here all the time.
Yeah, you can't stop being human just because you're in church.
The goddess receives all our prayers and our sighs. What's bothering you? I'd be happy to talk about it if you'd like.
Oh, it's nothing. Not worth talking
Shut
about.
up, Ignat, and say words.
Is that so? Am I not worth talking to?
That's not what I meant. Sorry to offend you. I'll tell you about it. I'm just uncertain about my future. My father wants me to be a knight. I don't think I can handle it. Can you imagine a knight as pathetic as me?
I can. It's you.
I don't find you pathetic at all. Is there something you would rather pursue?
Oh yeah, that's right. Ignat is stuck back in the art and knights can't be together thing.
Well, I've always loved painting.
You want to become an artist? How wonderful!
What's your ambition?
Me? I simply want to help people with their troubles. Those who can't help themselves. I've considered working for the church, but that's only a vague idea.
I think you should do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were supposed to be discussing your troubles.
Not at all. I'm actually feeling a little better.
That's what happens. You talk to Mercedes.
Knowing that you aren't sure about your future, I don't feel quite so alone.
Everyone in this world feels a little lost, you know. I really do believe that the life of an artist is a wonderful dream to pursue. There was a beautiful painting of the goddess in the church where I used to live.
Interesting.
Whenever times were difficult, I would
So this is what they're going to connect to, is like if you can paint like that.
Thinking about that painting helps me even now.
I've always wanted to paint the goddess.
You should. I'm sure your painting will help someone else in their time of need.
I can't paint anything powerful enough to do that. I wish I could. Maybe one day.
I mean, that's the thing. Practice makes. When I was a kid, I had a saying. I was probably freaking like 5 or 6 when I said this. But I said, practice makes perfect is dumb because you never actually become perfect at anything. So I was like, practice makes better.
I'll give that some thought. Thank you, Mercedes.
And lastly, we're almost done with Mercedes. Moving on to Ferdinand.
Oh, Mercedes. This is unexpected.
I almost feel like I shouldn't do these because I want to run into them again when I hang out with Ferdinand.
Hello, Ferdinand. Did you come to pray?
I did. I quite like the atmosphere in the cathedral.
But I'm committed now.
Perfectly suited to a noble, wouldn't you say?
That's right, it's a C, so he's just shallow and like, I'm a noble, I act like a noble.
I guess so.
You guess so? I think the matter is rather clear-cut. It is incumbent upon nobles that we pray regularly to the goddess. The piety of the nobles is a model for commoners. It teaches them the value of devotion.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I couldn't agree more.
Wow, she is totally lip servicing.
These days, many nobles scarcely, if ever, pray. Look around. You and I are alone in this cathedral. It is really quite a shame.
Ah, well, I don't really know that I count as a noble anyway.
Yeah, your house is kind of destroyed.
I am afraid the nobility seems to be losing its way. When you pray, you are usually alone, right?
Yes, you're right. I usually am.
Precisely. Where are the others? Of course you cannot force people to worship. That is out of the question.
I don't know, a lot of people have tried.
Nobles must determine for themselves what they will believe and how they will pray. A religion foisted on you without your say is not much of a religion at all.
That's very
Do you
true.
not agree?
Yes, I definitely agree. Definitely agree.
Poor Mercedes, she's like, get me out of this conversation.
On the other hand, we cannot stand idly by while...
It was great talking to you, but I'm getting pretty sleepy. I'm gonna head off to bed. Good night.
Wow, Mercedes showed a backbone.
All in all, one has to conclude. Mercedes, where did she go? I must have inspired her to go out and revive the faith. Perhaps I should do the same. I cannot let her show me up.
Wow, okay, that's my introduction to Ferdinand. Thanks, I hate him. So Mercedes is done. We have a lot more to go, guys, and we are already near the 40 minutes mark. So I will probably have to split this up and do the rest of these. I do have to wonder. So I'm like, okay. So yep, these are all. So I was out here like, are any of these them connecting to each other? But no, they're not. That one I could probably skip because the Lorenz Dorothea one, they actually got all the way to the end. Because if you remember, Lorenz and Dorothea were totally like shaping up to be a couple, and then I got Lorenz killed in the last fight. Whoops. See you next time, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.